everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to the next movie review, and which another franchise I'll be doing, which I've been wanting to. Well, and I go complete it since the last one came out last year, but more on that later. But now I'll be reviewing of the first Expendables movie. So, the Expendables, for the first one that came out in 2010, directed by Sylvester Stallone, which stars him and a great ensemble cast of action stars. Now, I gotta say, I love the first Expendables. I had a great time seeing that in the theater back in 2010. It was great seeing the Expendables. As the nods as a tribute to all of those 80s and 90s action films, with this great ensemble cast of action stars. I mean, in this film, not only got Sylvester Stallone, who wrote and directed this film. I think he wrote the film, but you got Jason Statham, you got Jet Li, Dolph Lundgren, you have Mickey Rourke, Terry Crews, Randy Couture. You have UFC fighter Randy Couture. And then you have other great great actors. You have, of course, Bruce Willis, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and you got Eric Roberts, and you had Stone Cold Steve Austin. And also you have Gary Daniels in there as well. So you have this whole great cast of action stars. And I love the first Expendables. Like I said, it was great seeing it back in the theater. And to me, honestly, the first one is the best one of the series. To me, the first one is the best of the series, because later in the series, especially in the sequels, like Expendables 2, basically, where they just try and be more funny, which I think that was a mistake. So funny the fact that it was being like a parody. To me, it was. Then Expendables 3, and then last year it became Expendables 4, which easily the worst. But so I would probably say, the first film is the best one. So, but going game with this though, the first film I love. It was, despite, getting mixed reviews from critics, though, it was a success. Paying those homage tributes to those, like I said, those 80s and 90s action films. And there was humor in the movie, though, but it was taking itself seriously, unlike the sequel. I mean, there was, back in the 80s and 90s, there was action films where there was humor in it, but they were taking themselves seriously, Back then, especially like stuff like Arnold, right? With films that starred Arnold, right? Yeah, there was obviously one-liner jokes though, but he was saying it with a straight face though, which did make it funny though. But like, take Commando for example, right? All those one-liners, right? Please start my friend. He's dead tired. Or, remember I told me to kill you last? I lied. Or the Running Man, like, Sub-Zero, now Plane Zero. Like, those one-liners, right? You have your humor, though, but he was saying it with a straight face, being serious about it at the same time. Yes, it was what made it funny, though, but I'm saying, though, it was trying to be serious at the same time, while having its humor. That's what the mistake they did with Expendables 2, because it was so many times in the camera, the obviously wink, do you get it? Do you get it, right? Do you get it? It was so much on the nose that it did not make it funny at all. To me, that was a big mistake, And especially they made Dolph Lundgren into a joke into that sequel. So that's why I would probably say the first one was the best one. And one more I can say about the Expendables has been said over 14 years now. Jeez. 14 years. So we have our group, the Expendables, mercenaries, you know, being paid, right? And we have this opening sequence where these pirates are holding people hostage. They give them the money, but they wanted more. And we have Dolph Lundgren, right? I mean, Dolph Lundgren, he was great in this though, because he was like, yeah, he's a bit unhinged, well, kind of like how he was as Andrew Scott, right? Recently viewed in Universal Soldier. Yeah, it was like, firing warning shot. He shoots and blows the whole guy's upper torso, sends him flying back. Which it looked unpractical. That's one thing I liked, you know. Some of the stuff was practical, some of it, but it was like blows the whole upper body of the guy in half and sends that half flying, and he's like, "Oh, little low." Warning shot. Oops, little low. And then they all come in and they're gonna prepare to shoot everybody. Then Jason Statham is like, his phone's vibrating. He's like, "What is that?" "I'm getting a text." And Stallone's like, "Excuse me?" See, it's subtle moments of humor like that. That's why I think it worked. And then they all shoot them all up. Dolph Lundgren, he said, "What are you doing?" They're asking Dolph Lundgren, "What are you doing?" "Hanging a pirate." "That's not what we do." So they have a little falling out, and they kick him off the team. Then we have Mickey Rourke, which he was not in that much, sad to say though. But it was nice. It was nice to see Mickey Rourke. You know, it was nice to see him. Of course, when Stallone together, him and Mickey Rourke, when they did Get Carter, which I like, the 2000 remake of Get Carter, which I like. I reviewed that long ago, so it was nice to see Mickey Rourke with Stallone again. Of course, maybe because the reason why he was his screen was a little bit limited on this, because he was filming this at the same time when he was doing Iron Man 2. So he was kind of like limited in this film. That's the reason why, because they both came out in the same year. So he was doing this and filming and Iron Man 2 at the same time. I like the fact that, you know, he runs a tattoo shop, you know, and then he throws knives just like with Jason Statham, you know, always hitting his target too. He was also part of their team as well. Which later on, when he was painting this guitar, right, he's like, "You know what? I'm gonna finish it. Then I'm gonna smash the shit out of it." And he's telling Stallone about the story about how, you know, lost a little bit of his humanity, you know, because like he saw this woman that was gonna jump off a bridge, and he just kept on walking, and she actually did it, you know. It was a nice little dramatic moment, you know, between a dramatic moment from Mickey Rourke. So that was a good scene with him. And no, of course, there was the theatrical cut and there was the director's cut. Now, there's things in the director's cut I like though, but honestly, I think I prefer the theatrical cut. I think I like more about. I liked more in the theatrical cut. I mean, there's certain things there's a couple things I did like about the director's cut, but I think there's certain changes because since Stallone directed this, I don't know why he did these changes. So that's why I prefer the theatrical cut a bit more, which I'll get to though. But then later we see one of the best moments of course, a lot of people will say one of the best moments is when Stallone is talking to Bruce Willis in this church, and that's why he calls himself Mr. Church, because they're in a church. And then Arnold comes in, and that's why people loved about this. The best part of this film is because we have Stallone, Bruce Willis, and Arnold Schwarzenegger in the same scene together. 3 legendary action stars, you know, Rambo, John McClane, and then Terminator in the same room together. Of course, during this time of the filming, this is when Schwarzenegger, he was still the governor of California, so he did his cameo, and he did his role for free, you know. So this is back then when he was still governor of California. But it was fun how they just the interacting between the three of these was just great, you know. It's like Schwarzenegger, Big Barney Ross, Stallone, bigger trench Mauser. and then Bruce Willis is saying to both of us, like, you two are not going to start sucking each other's dicks, are you? They both look at him. He's like, let's get down to business. So, but Arnold says he's busy, so he's tell him to give the job to Stallone. Is like, give this job to my friend here. He loves playing in the jungle. Of course, there's your nod to Rambo, which, like I said, humor like that, subtle bits of humor like that worked, right? It wasn't on the nose, like, oh, he's Rambo, right? Yeah, like unlike in Expendables 2, right? It's like, who's next? Rambo? Here, it was more subtle because playing in the jungle, that's what Rambo was in, right? In the jungle. That's what was humor I thought it worked better. It wasn't so much wink, right? Obviously you get it, though, but we do get it, though. It was playing like that, it was very subtle. So that's what I thought the humor I thought worked better in here. So, and then as Arnold saying to him, like, why don't you and I have dinner? When? In 1,000 years. Too soon. And then it was like, Bruce was like, what's his fucking problem? Stallone goes, he wants to be president. Of course, if anyone knows that in Demolition Man, Sandra Bullock was telling Stallone's like, oh, the Schwarzenegger presidential whatever memorial, right? And Stallone's like, wait a minute, he was president? I don't want to know about it. President. It had to be the nod to Demolition Man, which I love. I love Demolition Man. And then Bruce Willis telling Stone's like, you know, if you fuck with me, I will cut you up into fucking little dog treats. Got a problem with that? I mean, it was great, you know. Seeing Schwarzenegger, Bruce Willis, and Stallone together, it was great. I'm sure a lot of people love that scene. And, you know, like I said, it's seeing Bruce Willis as he is now, it's sad. It is very sad to see Bruce Willis, you know, have him get, like, dementia and all that, you know. Just looking back on it now, it's like, Bruce Willis, it's so sad to see him, you know. So sad. I can only wish him his family good health. So they go on to investigate this island, and the contact is this woman, which she's the daughter of the leader of this dictator. And so one thing leads to another. When they're scoping out the place, they get into a gunfight, which it was enjoyable. Your main bad guy is Eric Roberts, which him and Stallone were together in The Specialists. Eric Roberts, who is the older brother of actress Julia Roberts, if anyone didn't know. And I like Eric Roberts. I think Eric Roberts is a very underrated actor. I enjoy him in films like The Ambulance. That was with that Larry Cohen film that he directed. Eric Roberts was in it, including cast members like Red Buttons, and even an appearance from Stan Lee that was in it, and James Earl Jones. I think Ambulance was a fun movie, you know. I enjoyed that, you know. And Eric Roberts, I think he's an underrated actor, you know. He doesn't have much like star status like his sister did, like Julie Roberts does. But Eric Roberts, I think he's a good actor still, and he did a good job as the bad guy. And his right hand man is Stone Cold Steve Austin. Cool to see him. When they're fighting, and I like the scene where Stallone is running through the pier to get on the plane, or before that when they shoot some bad guys and nearly scrapes Jason Statham's like, "Are you crazy? Could have killed me. You're welcome." And like I said, when he's running to the pier, he's holding onto the plane, jumping onto the plane as it's taking off. Then they turn back around. They spray this fuel, and Jason Statham shoots the flare, blows up the whole pier. Good practical explosion. The nitpicks I have with the film, if there's any nitpicks, is there's some CGI blood in this, which I would think could have done for a practical blood blood squibs, you know. There was some of that, especially at the end when Eric Roberts, when Stallone and Statham shoot and stab Eric Roberts. There's some CG blood to it, though. I think you could have done that with practical squibs. And like when the building is collapsing at the finale, right when the building's collapsing, that's some wonky CGI. So and some a little bit on the shaky cam as well. The editing of the use of the camera sometimes is a little too shaky. Other than that, but other than those couple of nitpicks, though, I still think it's still a great action film. And after that, when that good fight at the pier, the woman gets found out. I like what Eric Roberts, tells her, it's like, when I grew up, it's not polite, it's not very gentlemanly to hit a woman. That's how I was taught. But this guy, he's pointing to Steve Austin, he's different. So, like, Steve Austin, he has no problem hitting a woman, which he does. And then they torture her, like, put the rag over her face with the water. And so Stallone wants to go back to get her. And then we have this moment with Jet Li. He's talking to him. He's like, I need some more money for my family. And Stallone's like, what family? He'll always say, well, Jet Li's like, well, maybe we'll have one day. It was, I know one thing referring to it because of the size, like, because you're small? Yeah. And of course, when Dolph Lundgren talks, goes to Eric Roberts and Steve Austin, and Steve Austin's ready to throw down gun with his gun, right? To Dolph Lundgren's like, bring it. I like to see that he was Steve Austin. He was ready to throw down with Dolph Lundgren. So he gives them the info where they are, and you get this car chase, and Dolph Lundgren kills one of the guys, one of the bad guys in the car, just stamps on him, leaves a footprint on his face, and calls him insect. Just shows, like you said, how unhinged he is. Like you said, how he was when he was Andrew Scott from Universal Soldier. But the chase he was fighting, Stallone tells Jet Li to get in the back of the truck. It's like, get in the back. Why? Because you're smaller. And then in this fight in the warehouse, which I like the fight between Jet Li and Dolph Lundgren. What were you, about 6 foot? Bring it, Happy Feet. It was a fun fight, and one thing I did like in the director's cut that it was edited a bit longer. The fight between Jet Li and Dolph Lundgren. One thing I did like about the director's cut I did like about was the fight between the two of them was a bit longer. But then Dolph Lundgren picks him up, ready to throw him. Stallone shoots him like right around here. Doesn't kill him though. He said, I shot him a couple inches above your heart. And then he gives him the information. Dolph gives him the information. And then back with Jason Statham, like he has a girlfriend. I think it was the girl. What's her name? Something Carpenter. I think she was in the Buffy the Vampire Slayer TV show. I think so. Because I haven't seen Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the TV show, in so long. I have some of the seasons, but I haven't watched it in quite some time, though. I think she was in the Buffy the Vampire Slayer show. But Jason Statham, like, he had his girlfriend or her had this crap, shitty boyfriend, thinking because Jason Statham's been away for a while. But then when Jason Statham notices her, she has a black eye. He goes and fights him to this basketball court, and he's like, "What do you want?" Your life. I was thinking about taking it. Her face. I liked it the way it was before. And he goes and beats the shit out of all these guys. It was fun to watch. Beats the shit out of all these guys. Takes the basketball, slams against the guy, takes the knife, deflates the basketball, and he's like, next time I'll deflate both your balls, friend. That was fun too. It was great to see when this came out. It was great to see with Stallone and Jason Statham together when this first came out. Jason Statham and Stallone together. It was fun. I thought they had fun chemistry with each other. And so together, the rest of the team, they go back there, and the finale is great. Yes, other than some CG blood and when the buildings collapse and when they blow up the building. Wonky CGI doesn't hold up today. I think that That was one of the. I think they could have done the whole thing practically, just having the actual building collapse, you know. And so the dictator, for the guy's bag that his name was, which he was. If you would recognize the guy, I remember he was in Skyline, same year, 2010, came out after Expendables. He was in Skyline. He was the guy who owned the hotel. Or people remember him. He was in the TV show. Was it Dexter or True Blood? I think it was the TV show Dexter. I think it was, where he was. True Blood or Dexter? God damn. Give me a second here. I know I should have looked at it before, because I know it was either one of those shows. Yeah, David Zayas. Yes, it was Dexter. I was right the first time. Yeah, it was Dexter. Yeah, David Zayas. He plays as the general who runs the place, General Garza. We will kill this American disease. And then Terry Crews is like, what is he saying? He's saying we're dead with an accent. And then Eric Roberts shoots David Zayas. Backstabbing, shoots him, and so it was a fun action, the fun finale. Stallone, he has two guns, and when he's shooting, he quickly reloads the clip, shoots it, quickly reloads it, or when he was captured by Steve Austin, he's like, strangling him, like, and Steve Austin's like, look at me, you piece of trash, who sent you? And so it's like, your hairdresser. And then fun knife fights, like Jason Statham's throwing knives, Jet Li's doing his martial arts. Terry Crews comes in with this big shotgun, boom, 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 blowing people up to pieces. And then with Stallone had this brief fight with Steve Austin. And I think during the film of the scene, Stallone actually broke his neck, like when Steve Austin like body slams against the part of the wall. And when he jerks back, I think that's the moment when he broke his neck. I'm like, damn, and I think Stallone also suffered some other injuries during the making of this film. Not only just with a broken neck, but like some other injuries too. I'm like, Stallone really went all out in this movie. He sustained several injuries. He broke his neck. I'm like, damn, Stallone. Shows how committed you are. And I think you did a great job directing the movie. And there were there were some changes in the director's cut. Like I said. Certain moments, like with the characters, between the characters, I think like, why do they change certain moments? Is like towards like, Dolph at the end, when the guys are celebrating, right? Stallone, like when Dolph was talking to Jet Li, and Jet was like, Jet Li says, I won, and in the theatrical cut, Dolph Lundgren gives him like a smile and a wink. He's like this. Right, like this, like. But in the director's cut, Dolph Lundgren has like that sulky look on his face. I have no idea why that was changed. I'm like, it was better because they're still friends, and tells him to get therapy, and it's like, I won. It's like, sure, it is. I think that works a lot better, that Dolph Lundgren was still on the team and they're still friends, right? But I don't know why the director's cut, like, his whole facial expression changed like that, I don't know why. I don't know why Stallone did these little changes with these characters, because there was, in the director's cut, like, when Mickey Rourke was talking, right, during that scene where he was talking about, when he was playing the guitar and talking about his story, what happened, right, it was a tad bit different with Mickey Rourke, looking more sulky and all that stuff, I'm like, and then, but it was different in the theatrical cut, like, details in these changes in characters. I don't know why Stallone changed, though. I have no idea why. I mean, yeah, the director's cut, yeah, the fight with Jet Li and Dolph Lundgren was a bit longer. That I liked that part of it, but I don't know why Stallone did these little changes with the characters in the director's cut rather than the theatrical cut. I have no idea why. But as the finale is going on, like Stallone gets Terry Crews to hold his missile, throw it, and he shoots it. It blows the helicopter. They blow up the depot. Some pretty good explosions too. And then we have the fight with Stone Cold Steve Austin with Randy Couture. Now another nitpick I have with it. I mean, Randy Couture, he's a good UFC fighter, right? But to me, I think he's the weakest of the bunch. Of all the actors, to me, he's the weakest of the bunch. And personally, I'm not really big on Randy Couture. I mean, I respect him as a UFC fighter, but as an actor, not so much. To me, I think he is the weakest of all the actors. He's the weakest of this group. And yes, there is a moment where they. I don't need to hear him bitch about his cauliflower ear. They do an obvious remark about that. Oh, I wrestled in college, which yes, he did, but that was like one of the on the nose type things. I think that was starting. You know, I don't need to hear him bitch about his cauliflower ear. I don't need to hear that. And the fight between him and Steve Austin, I think it was sadly the weakest of the fights. And when Stone Cold Steve Austin was on fire, that was bad CGI. When he's like, oh, he's on fire, that's bad. That's bad CGI fire on Steve Austin. That was bad CGI. He gives him one last punch, and Steve Austin's dead. I mean, yeah. So I don't really care. I mean, Randy Couture, I don't think he does not work as an actor. That's why he keeps on popping. He appears on all the other movies. To me personally, I think you could just kill him off in those sequels, any of those sequels, because they're the Expendables for a reason, you know. To me, the only Expendable that died was freaking Liam Hemsworth in Expendables 2. He's like the only they're called the Expendables for a reason, not keep everybody alive. I mean, they're called the Expendables for a reason, you know. And Liam Hemsworth, to me, was the only one that died. I mean, I think I would not have cared if Randy Couture died because he's an expendable, right? I would not have cared. I mean, kill him out. To me, he's the weakest of the group. But whatever. And then we come with Eric Roberts, and to tell Stallone, he's like, "Why'd you come after me?" And Stallone's like, "I didn't come after you. I didn't come for you, dipshit. I came for her." And then quick draw shoots Eric Roberts, yeah, with some CG blood though, and then Stallone from behind, Jason Statham from behind stabs him with a big knife. Like I said, CG blood. I wish probably they could have done with practical squibs, you know, in this movie. I mean, in the beginning when Dolph Lundgren blew that guy in half, it looked was practical. There was only practical bloody kill, I would say, in the movie, because like I said, a lot of it was done like CG blood. I mean. It kind of takes me out of it, you know, because, like, I mean, horror films, probably some horror films today, they can still do practical blood, you know. I don't know why they're just too cheap to set the whole thing up with squibs, you know. I mean, that's what makes it work, you know. It's worth it, you know. It makes it look real. So, but other than that, though, but Eric Roberts, he was still a good bad guy. Like I said, underrated actor, Eric Roberts. I mean, I didn't even mind this film where it was like, almost kind of a take on play on John Carpenter's They Live, you know, with the glasses, he wears these glasses. Arnold Vosloo's in it, and John Rhys Davies as well. I think it was called Endangered Species, or there was another alternate title for that movie called Earth Alien. I think it was called. Actually, he didn't mind it because hey, Eric Roberts, Arnold Vosloo, hey, and John Rhys Davies as well. I think the proper name is called Endangered Species. I think. But yeah, I would say, like I said, Eric Roberts, he's an underrated actor. I like him, you know. So gets more appreciation. But then after they kill him, and then after that, the girl stays behind as they leave, and then at the end where they're all just partying together, Mickey Rourke and Jason Statham, they're throwing knives at the target. And like I said, with Jet Li and Dolph Lundgren, right? Dolph Lundgren, he's fine. It's like, what was that Randy Couture who said, "Hey, well, it doesn't kill you, therapy." And J-Lo was like, I would have won. And then Dolph Lundgren was like, sure. And he's like, with the wink. But like I said, in the director's cut, it was, Dolph Lundgren was more sulking and mad looking. And I'm like, why these little changes? What these little changes to these characters? I don't know why that Stallone did these. To me, it was better. Or another thing in the director, one thing I liked in the director's cut is when the song Shinedown, not the song, the band Shinedown, by the song, Diamond Eyes, boom, that was in the trailer, boom lay, boom lay, one bush is all you need. That song was playing during the finale of the action scene of the finale. I thought it was cool to put that in there because I liked it when it was in the trailer. But it was not in the theatrical cut though. But I think I liked it because it was good in the trailer, and I think it worked in the finale of the movie. So that's one thing of the director's cut I did like about it. They put that song in the finale, and I think they even did it when during the credits as they're rolling on their motorcycles as well. But in the theatrical cut, when Jason Statham is saying a poem, he throws the knife directly in the middle of the target as they all look at it. Then, as they're getting on during the credits, as they're getting on their motorcycles, you have Thin Lizzy's "The Boys Are Back in Town" playing, which I like Thin Lizzy. I grew up, me and my brother grew up listening to Thin Lizzy because of my dad. Like Southbound, the cowboy song, and then "The Boys Are Back in Town." Boys are back in town. It was cool to hear that during the end credits of that though. So, what do I prefer, Thin Lizzy or once again Shinedown during the credits of that? Well, it was cool to hear Diamond Eyes during the finale of the action scene, the finale's action. It was nice to hear during the end credits again, though. But I think I prefer The Boys and Back in Town during that one. But like I said, bits of director's cut I like, but some things a little change that Stallone did with the characters. I just think why he changed these, And I think that they used Thin Lizzy's The Boys Are Back in Town again in Expendables 4. I don't know. I had to watch it again because that movie was so shitty, God damn. Which I'm glad that the film Expendables 4 bombed because I think that's not what would kill the franchise. They don't need to do any more. They don't. It's because there was a time they were doing Expendables with a female cast. I'm like, I'm glad that fell through because we don't need that. Because what are they gonna get? They say that Meryl Streep, Cameron Diaz, and Sandra Bullock. I mean, it was cool to see Sandra Bullock though, but a female cast of Expendables does not work. It does not. It doesn't. But I enjoyed the first Expendables. To me, it's the best one, and the sequels to me suck. Although I think they're originally in this film with Expendables 2 before. I think they were gonna have Van Damme in the first movie. I think Van Damme was originally gonna be in the first movie, but I think because Mickey Rourke was in it, because the two of them were together in Double Team and did not get along during Double Team, right? I think that's why Van Damme didn't want to do it. I reviewed Double Team a long time ago, though. I reviewed that film long ago. Which I remember thinking I did not mind that movie. But I think that Van Damme and Mickey Rourke did not get along during that movie, so I think that's why Van Damme did not do it since Mickey Rourke was in this movie. That's why he cast the villain in Expendables 2. But the thing is, though, Van Damme, sad to say, he was the best part of Expendables 2. He was a good villain. I like that he did the kick to the knife when he kicked the knife to Liam Hemsworth's chest. That was cool to see. It was cool he did his signature move, his helicopter kick on Stallone, though. But the thing is that was about it, That fight between Sylvester Stallone, and versus Jean-Claude Van Damme. To me, that was like the most disappointing action fights I've ever seen. Of any action films I've seen, you have Stallone versus Jean-Claude Van Damme. And it was so shitty, so short. Stallone got more of it was like one-sided basically. I've never been so disappointing with in a fight between two iconic action stars. Two of the most iconic action stars in such a short and shitty fight. I don't know who was thinking. I think it was the producers because Because it was said that in the sequel, Expendables 2, it was directed by Simon West, who directed Con Air, which I love. One of my favorite action movies I loved growing up, you know. The director of Con Air. I think it was the producers. What was it? Ivy Lerner. Because also I think that Stallone wanted to do not Stallone. They also wanted Steven Seagal to have a cameo in this, either for this film, the first film, or the second film. But because I think he didn't get along with the producer Ivy Lerner, which he worked some of his films. He didn't get along, so I guess he turned it down. That would have been funny. I think that probably would have been a parody if Steven Seagal was in it. We try to do a shitty accent like he did in Machete, or or what was it? Driven to Kill, when he was playing a Russian. Jeez. But I'll get to Expendables 2 though next, because like I said, Van Damme, he can compete a good bad guy. He can. He was for me the best part of Expendables 2. If I had to rank the villains, I still probably had to say maybe Eric Roberts and Steve Austin. Well, then the fight between him and Steve Austin and Randy Couture was short though, and Steve Austin on fire, bad CGI. Honestly, I think Eric Roberts was the best villain, because I think he was being a little more crueler while he was doing to the girl, and I don't know. It's a toss up though, because Van Damme was a good villain, and Mel Gibson, he was a good villain in Expendables 3. That's another shitty sequel that he was the best part of. Mel Gibson was good. He was a good villain. So yeah, some of the sequels, you have good villains like in Van Damme, and you got Mel Gibson, which Expendables 4 was a lot worse. But anyway, I'm getting off track here. But the first Expendables, I love. Yeah, like I said, ease up on the shaky camera. Try to do practical blood squibs. CG on the CG, no CG blood, or when the building comes down, or wonky CGI, or bad CGI when Steve Austin was on fire. Randy Couture, to me, I think he's not as a UFC fighter. He doesn't make it as an actor. I think he's definitely the weakest of the bunch. I think they should have killed him off if either of the sequels, but no. But other than that, though, I think Stallone and the rest of the cast did a good job. Jason Statham, Jet Li, Dolph Lundgren, Terry Crews had his little funny moments as well. Terry Crews like, great, they have a small army. What do we got? 4.5 men. Jet Li's like, not so funny. I think Terry Crews did good as well. Eric Roberts, he was a good bad guy. Same with Steve Austin. Gary Daniels, if I had to mention Gary Daniels, I didn't mention at the beginning of this, but Gary Daniels, he was another side villain like what Steve Austin was. I thought he was good too when trying to fight Jason Statham, Jet Li, and then Jet Li just takes his foot down and breaks Gary Daniels' neck. I like Gary Daniels. I've seen a few of his action films. He doesn't get talked about much. Check out some of his action films, Gary Daniels. And so the actions, like I said, was fun. Like from the beginning, shooting the pirates, Dolph Lundgren, warning shot, a little low. Or the car chase, despite a little bit of shaky cam though, and then the fight between Jet Li and Dolph Lundgren was fun. And then the finale, which I think it was better when the song Diamond Eyes was playing and during the finale. Boom lay, go, boom lay, boom lay. It was fun, and that's what it was great. It was great seeing Stallone, Bruce Willis, and Arnold Schwarzenegger in the same scene together. That was a great seeing 3 legendary action stars in the same room together. That was one of the best parts of the film as well. And like I said, paying its tribute to 80s and 90s action films, it was great, sadly to say, like I said, Expendables 2, they were trying to do so much humor. It felt the film was like a parody of the first movie, or was trying to be like Hot Shots with Charlie Sheen, the first one, and then Part Duh, the second one. That's what it's trying to be like. I mean, I think it was a mistake. Whoever decided to make it put more humor, trying to be more funny, didn't work. It just defeated the purpose of what the first film was. Yeah, it had bits of humor, but it was subtle. It was trying to be serious. But anyway, the first Expendables film I enjoyed. I loved it. It was great seeing in the theater. All these action stars, together. Or the fights. Like I said, I forgot to mention the fight I like with Jason Statham on the basketball court. That was fun too. The fun between Stallone when Jason Statham was fun. And Dolph Lundgren too. But yeah, the first Expendables film, well, because the mixed criticism it got, that's why they try to go for a lighter humor, and that's why the second film made more money. I have no idea why. Yeah, it was R-rated though, but still, it felt more lighter tone. I thought the tone was consistent. The first film, I thought the tone was consistent. The second film, no, was much more funnier, lighter tone. But I don't know. It's just I'll get to this a sequel later, but in the next video I'll probably say it. But the first Expendables, I enjoyed. It was great seeing in the theater, like I said. So I think Stallone did a good job with directing the movie. Despite all the severe injuries he went through, especially with a broken neck. But and the rest of the cast was good too, other than Randy Couture though. But yeah, first Expendables was great. I loved it. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned and for our Expendables. The next one, Expendables 2. Yay. Later.